Good morning. There's a few people here already. It's lovely to see you. Thanks so much. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. You may hear today that I have a ton of wind that's blowing through the front door. It's been howling out here for a couple of days actually, and you'll notice, hey Candy, I'm glad you're here because we've been communicating, so I look forward to it. You'll notice I got a little knock right here. I was out in the wind the other day playing, just juggling a soccer ball, a little bit of there, and I kicked the ball and the wind kind of threw it back into my face and caught me right here with the soccer ball. So as much as my balance is good, I've got to start working on that head action just a little bit more. So if anybody's wondering how this got here, anyway, that's me being vain, I guess, trying to say that. But again, it's kind of weird. So seeing myself in the camera and looking at this little red mark here. Anyway, at least you know I don't use makeup. Otherwise, I'd be covering this up like crazy. Anyway, Candy, I'm going to address some of the stuff that you talked about today, and I got some very specific information for you. As we know, this is the Tuesday Open class where you come to me and ask me questions that you have that maybe you're having sticking points. Because look, when Debbie and Kathy do their classes and I do my classes, we're listening to what's being said, but we may not hit the specific point that you're looking for. And that's why I open up this Tuesday once a month where you come to me and say, I've been working on this, I'm still having a problem with this, what can we do? So I'm going to address them. As you have questions coming in, then I'm going to address each of those issues. And as always, if I don't understand the issue you have, if you've got a certain condition going on, I will go and research that. As you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist. My mother's a doctor, my grandfather's a doctor. I've worked with so many physical therapists going through my own recovery issues, as well as helping other people and taught in physical therapy offices with the 60 Up Balance board. So I'm not going to profess to be something that I'm not. However, I've had tons of success. Many times, let me just say from the reviews that you've had, more success than a lot of physical therapy offices have been able to offer. And that's because I tap back into you, I tap back into your power and how your body's feeling. So with that being said, let me just say good morning to everybody. Candy, I've already said good morning to you, but I'm going to say it again, and to your husband as well. Pat, great to see you here as always. Ginny, great to see you. Love that name. Bob, good morning. Hope Ben and you are doing great, and look forward to working with you today. Deborah, great to see you here this morning as well. Thanks so much for being here. And again, today's class is about you. So please, if you have any questions about your condition, about how I can help you, about the power of the 60 Up Balance board tapping back into you and allowing you to take control of your quality of life, physical life. And I emphasize it will help your physical life. But what's most important, and this is what I discovered with Bob Eubanks, and Bob said hi today. Unfortunately, he can't be with us. I forgot to say that. Hey, Bob, I know you won't see this today, but because of the really high winds that we've got out here, they've been doing rolling shutouts of electricity in Bob Eubanks' house. Right now, there's no electricity there, so he isn't going to be able to log on through his computer to Facebook, but I know he said to say hi to everybody. So good morning, Ken. Good to see you here as well. So the point that I was making was when I trained Bob, physically he improved. He improved tremendously in 3 weeks, from shuffling and not being able to get in and out of a car to 6 miles an hour on a treadmill, doing the exercises that we do now. He was on the original 60 Up Balance board, which I promise you was not as good as this board that you have now, but it brought the effect that we needed. So but the biggest change with Bob Eubanks was his mental change. When he could wake up in the morning excited about the day ahead, when he could wake up in the morning knowing that it wasn't just the day ahead, it was the month ahead, it was the year ahead. There were things that he thought he'd never do again he could start to do. The biggest change was the emotional change, the way that life got exciting again, the way that he really enjoyed the thought that not only could you dream of what you used to do, you could dream of what you want to do and actually make it a reality. So as much as we work on the physical, and the 60 Up Balance Board will help you physically grow, what that does, it inspires you, it excites you, it gives life a purpose now, because instead of living day to day and waking up hoping that the day's going to be better, and as you know, I don't believe in hope, I believe in believing. Because when you believe, you take action. Hope tends to it could go either way. It's like hope is sitting on the top of the fence trying to push over the top, whereas believing is at the top of the fence, I'm going to get over the top. But Joe, good morning as well. Good to see you here as well. So the inspiring thing here is the ability to take the physical development and see how it changes both the emotional, the spiritual side, the physical side, and again, mentally getting excited that progress is going to be here. So the first one, message for today is, I was thinking about this a lot the other day. What's the perception? How do people see me compared to who I am? And who they see me and who I am will govern how they treat me. So when we become subservient, when we don't stand up for ourselves, when we don't have that empowerment in life to see our own value and trust our value, and instead put our value on somebody else's perception, there's a couple of things probably going on. One, we're probably not projecting who we truly are because they're not seeing us how we truly are. And that comes down to how are we acting? How are we? What's our highest level of excellence? How are we handling how we feel and our power and our belief in ourselves compared to what we're giving away for other people? And at the same time, if their perception is different than what we're portraying, maybe their vision, maybe the way they're seeing things is also changed for their own benefit. And so trusting yourself, staying true to who you are, whether you're, and sadly there's a lot of people now that are in nursing homes that are under the guide of the nursing staff, and there's so many amazing nursing staff out there. But sometimes we don't emphasize who we are. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. We start giving in to outside pressures rather than changing the outside because of the power we have within. And so that's my message today. Looking at who you are, what are you giving up to lessen your own self-value? And what are you standing by and believing in and sticking up for yourself, because you are more than anybody really understands. Right? So again, take your power, take your strength, and let's go into, an empowerment year ahead where you feel stronger and more determined to take control of your life. And that's both mental and physical. Okay, so we're going back in here. I said hi to Jen, Bob, Deborah, Ken, Joe, great to see you here. Lucinda, great to see you. What a pretty name Lucinda is. Diane, great to see you here as well. So I still don't have any questions coming in for stuff today, but I do have a couple of things planned to get it going. And again, you have to write in your questions or your comments here. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back all the way back to Candy. So Candy had written in, and you'll see it on the Facebook post, where her husband had a cerebellar stroke. Now, the cerebellar stroke comes from the cerebellum, which is at the back of the brain, and the cerebellum is divided into two sides. There's the left and the right. Now, we know that a lot of times the brain crosses over, but with the cerebellum, the left side of the cerebellum controls the left side, and the right side controls the right. And when you have a stroke, for the most part, almost universally across the board, the side that's affected with the stroke, which can be where the blood stops flowing, it gets blocked in the cerebellum, controls that side. So I know that you had said in here, Candy, that his left side was having more of the problems, the tremors that are going on there and the lack of strength and balance. And we wanted to talk about that today. Good morning, Diane. Just saw you come in here. Oh, Diane, I've already said hi to you, but I'll say hi again. Joanne and Betsy, great to see you. The professors in the house. Great to see you. So again, today is really about questions and the answers. Now, going back to Candy's husband, she said that he has tremors on the left-hand side, and a weakening on the left-hand side, and what would be great for those. So the first thing that has to happen is we know with neuroplasticity and the remapping of the brain that when there's a blockage there, you have to focus on the small movements. Now I'm going to do a small movement with all of you today that we've never done before. It's going to be something that's so specific, but the first thing that has to happen is you have to focus that brain on the connection going down, and often that's very, very slow, especially after a stroke. You've got to give time for the brain wiring, the remapping, to connect back to the body part and have control. See, with a tremor, what happens is the smaller muscles, when the messaging's being sent, it's not being sent specifically. There can be messages that are sent to muscles, which is why you end up having a tremor in there, because there's a delay, there's an action, there's a delay, or the message is being sent to the muscles without it being intentional. And that's why we've got to get that brain back under control, the cerebellum back under control, to be able to again control the muscles. And when you control the muscles, you'll be able to control the tremor, because it's not having messaging sent interrupted, and at the same time we get the brain to start controlling the body. So let me give you an exercise. I'd love everybody to step back up onto here again. So the first thing I want you to do, and everyone do this with me, I'm going to take your left hand and touch your thumb to your finger, and just do this with me. Even if you don't have issues, and one day I'll reveal everything that I've been through, because I think, again, people will understand more about my history and my background. Just do this with me. Right, now take your hand out and hold it still. Now I want you to rock it side to side. And now bring it back and hold it still. And you'll notice some of you will have a little bit of a shake going on. Just focus on holding it still. Now bring your hand back up and just do the little touching in here again. Now you can say this isn't really exercise. What we're doing is we're training the brain to specifically be able to focus on one point. And trust me, this is developing the brain that will help with your balance. So hold the finger there. Now holding it there, take your hand forward and try not to let it shake. Good. Change middle finger to thumb and try not to let it shake. And thumb to fourth finger, and try to shake, and then the little finger. And try and keep that hand steady. Now come back and shake it again. So this is one of the exercises that you can do just to create that connection, that neuroplasticity, the messaging going from the brain to the hand and what's happening going back again. So don't always think that everything has to be about the feet, about the legs, about the body. This is critical. Let's do it with the left hand. So put your left hand out. Now touch and hold in here. Good morning, Carol and Beth. Great to see you here. Today's class is very different. This is an educational class. Put your hand out. Try not to let it tremor or shake. Now bring it back, hold it here. And again, try not to let the hand, if there's a little shake going on, it's okay. Just focus on the brain, focusing, relax. Don't force it. Relax the brain to send the message. Now go to your middle finger and hold it there. There you go. And to your fourth finger. Excellent. And to your little finger. Now bring it back. And I hope you're joining in with me, because even though this seems like it's not to do with balance, it's everything to do with balance, because it's training the brain to send messages. Now what I want you to do is put your hands together here. Good. And touch the thumbs. Now roll the fingers up until your middle finger touches in here. And what I want you to do is see if you can hold that. Now, normally if there's a tremor, it's on one side more than the other. So what we're doing is we're engaging. If it's the left-hand side, left hand in here, which Candy, I believe you said is in here, the right hand should be more stable. So by touching the fingers in here and just holding, you have one stable hand, and try and push. Now touch the two fingers together, so I'm here, and see if you can control, but I want you to focus on the left-hand side. Now rotate and touch the fourth finger, so we're in this position here. And again, trying to take the stability of the right hand and touch it into the left hand, but think of the left hand not tremoring. Now put all your fingers together, and I want you to just put in this position here and try and again control. You've got one side that's stronger, one side, and please do this with me, because you'll get what I'm talking about, the feeling. Now take your hands apart and see if you can focus on both hands. But again, if you have one side more, don't force it, don't push it, relax the brain to feel and start doing this. Now, this is the start of the brain connection to the hand learning. See, if my left hand was tremoring in here, I don't want to stop the tremor, I want to relax the tremor, right? Because if you stop, if I hold my hand really tight, I'm so tight, I'm sending this energy through. You want to learn to relax it. So I'm here, just relax it and let the brain do the work. Good. Okay, so I want to go on to an exercise here, and that, Candy, would be a great exercise for your husband to start with. And again, the frustration, the pain, I've been through it. I'll reveal more of my story one day. I know not exactly what he's going through, but I've been a lot closer than people realize. So what we're going to do is we're now going to come across into here. I'm going to move the board just a little more forward, and all of you, please join in with this, because this is so fascinating. I was doing this yesterday because I keep creating new and new ways to connect the brain, the neural passages, and today is not a physical workout. This is a mental workout that's actually really fun to do. So what we're going to do to start with, let me just move this up out here. What we're going to do to start with is I want you to push the board. We're going to go to the left today. So Candy, this is for your husband. Let the board touch the ground. I know you've got the metal poles on the way. And I want you to take your left toe and place it on the board. So the board is solid. I could put my weight on it. Now what I want you to do is I just want you to drag the toe left and right. See what we're doing here right now, Candy, and everybody, we're just dragging the foot left and right. In here, what we're doing is we're making sure the right leg is strong, but we're sending messaging to the left foot. And that's what we want to do. After you've had a stroke, you want to send messages to the body part. And the reason I'm doing the toes instead of the whole foot going across here is because I want the brain to travel the furthest point, because it will connect with everything in between. Or it will learn, it will start to go in. Good. Bring the foot down. Now push the board to the left. Take your, the right. Take your right foot, put it on there, and you'll feel if you pushed on it, the board is on the ground. I got an exercise I'm excited for Betsy today as well for this exercise, because I know you're a beast and Herb is a beast as well in there doing the exercise. Good, just dragging that toe side to side. There you go, good. Bring the foot back down to the ground. Now, push the board to the left again. Now what I want you to do is draw a circle with your foot. So we're going a circle around like the letter O. I'm going from inside to out. If you want to go from outside to in, it really, I don't mind right now which way you're going. In fact, try reversing it. And what we're doing is we're engaging the brain again to be in a position where we're controlling the movement with specificity. Let's change. Push the board to the right. Take the foot onto the toe again, onto the board. We want to send the brain message to the furthest extremity, which is the top of our toes. And now draw a circle. So what we're doing, we're engaging movement with thought and design at the same time. So we're not just moving it, there's a specificity to the movement, and rotate the foot the other way. So what we are doing here now, and Candy, this will be here, this is actually strengthening your husband's left side, but because you've got the metal handles, you can lean on those to help support the body weight while the leg's moving. Okay, come back to the left-hand side. Now what I want you to do is I want you to spell your name 5 times, right? So this is, if you've got a really long name, that's interesting because it could take you a little bit longer. But look, I'm just going to give you a little example. So I'm going to take my toe, I'm going to spell D, then I'm going to spell the A, then I'm going to write the N. Luckily, I've got three letters. But what you're doing here is you're learning to balance on your right leg while your brain is sending messages against your toe and thinking what you're doing. So go ahead and write your name 5 times. So I'm writing my D. And eventually you can do this without looking down because I can feel what's happening with my foot. I got 2 times. If you want to go a little faster, you can. And notice how, because of the change in movement, the brain is constantly thinking instead of just getting into a routine. And I know, I think that's 4. Maybe that's 5. I guess I wasn't counting. That's definitely the last one. Okay, bring down, shake out the legs if you've already done it. And you can come back and do this later. Let's go to the other side, push the right foot, put the toe on here. Now, go ahead and write your name with your toe. Now, what you'll forget in here, because you're focused on writing, is how much your left leg is actually doing the work and strengthening up. And we got obviously really good balance in here as well. I think I've got one more to go. Now again, remember, today is not about a physical workout. Today is about training the brain with the balance. So don't get confused thinking that this is, I'm not sweating, I'm not out of breath, I'm not doing this anything kind of crazy. What we're doing is we're really focusing on the brain, which is critical to everything that you're doing. Okay, now we're going to progress this. What we're going to do now is do this without the ball touching the ground. This is going to challenge your balance even more. And again, build up to this one. So what I want you to do now is I want you to take your left foot, place it on, and I want you to write out the word 60 up. So I'm going to draw the 6, draw the 0, U, and then P, and bring it back down. Let's go to the other side. With your toe, draw the 6, draw the 0, draw the U, and draw the P. And come back down. You'll notice, because your foot's constantly changing position, the foot that you're standing on is constantly adjusting. And if you're doing it without even noticing it, that's fantastic, because you can't write or have that leg moving without constantly adjusting this one. If it's too stiff or one lock, you'll end up rocking off of balance. Now, this is the last thing I want to do on this exercise. I want you to now write the name of the place that you would love to go to. If you could go anywhere, where would you want to go? So go ahead, again, keep the board balanced and go ahead and write with your toe anywhere you would like to go. Off you go. Okay, so that was mine on my left foot. I would love to know what you wrote with your foot. I'd love to know, but I'd also love to know, were you able to maintain your balance the whole time, or will you find yourself wobbly? And it doesn't matter which one's which. If you're able to maintain your balance, that means that you're really engaging your brain into your body, and the messaging is helping stabilize you, which is fantastic. But at the same time, if you found yourself a little wobbly, that's great as well, because it shows there's improvement that's going to happen. And by practicing this, which is so simple, you'll be able to again improve. Okay, I would tell you, I wrote England. I would love to go back. It's been a long time, obviously, going back there and seeing my mum and my dad and everybody else back there. So that's where I'd like to go. Now what I'd like you to do is write down in here with your right foot the one place that you would love to go to find that peace and serenity. Right? So, because I know if I go to England, I'm going to be running around seeing everybody. It's not peace and serenity. Think of somewhere that you would love to go to with peace and serenity, that you could relax and take in the beauty of life. Think of that one place. It could be the local park. It could be the top of the mountain. It could be somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and write mine. Here we go. Are you ready? Go. Keep that balance. Okay, I hope you wrote something down. I'd love to see what it was that you wrote down as well. But again, something really simple for me. The place I'd love to take in life would be the Maldives. Never been there, but when I look at the pictures and you see the beautiful beaches, you see the sand, you see the sun, it brings you back to nature, what this world is really, the power of the world, and how nature can give us so much power and confidence and taking us back to what life is all about, the simple things. Unfortunately, it's really expensive to go to there, so that's not so simple to go. So I could go to the local beach as well. I love the beaches. Okay, so with that being said, let me see who else is in here. Beth is here. Carol, good to see you. Ron Eubanks, great to see you. Ron, is that... you got the 3 letters. Everyone with the last name Eubanks, Bob, Ron, they got 3 letters in there. What's going on? Rosa, good morning, Mum. Lovely to see you. Craig, great to see you here. Liz, Vicky, Autumn. It's a fantastic. As you can see, this little thing here. I got hit in the face with a soccer ball. So I got that little bit of boom and it, anyway, what a pain in the butt. So I'm waiting for questions. Does anybody have a question in here that they could write? Good morning, Debbie. Great to see you here as well. Everyone knows the fantastic Debbie Siebers. So today, go ahead and write your questions. We've already done one training session. Debbie, I don't know if you saw that one, but I think you'd love it as well for training. Go ahead and write questions. Any things that you have issues with that I can be here. Like, I'm your personal trainer today. So if you say, I'm having problems with this, I will create an exercise for you. You know, this is a sticking point. I'm having a hard time. I find that this is happening. I will take you through that. So please go ahead and write any questions that you have so that I can help you. While I'm waiting for that, let's go back to Candy. So Candy, you talked about your husband being weak on his left-hand side. So one of the things I'd love you to do with him, and again, go through how to safely get on and off the board to begin with, and then go through the Bob Eubanks 3-week training session. Now, the reason I say go through that, because it's the basics. Once you've got the basics and you build the confidence, you'll then be able to progress onto other things. But one of the exercises that I'd love to see your husband do once he's gone through the program, and again, you don't have to be perfect. Don't be perfect on every exercise before you move on. I want you to go and do the exercises and feel comfortable. Feel confident. Once you feel confident and comfortable with the movement and your balance and your safety, then you can go to the next one. So one of the exercises, and everyone can do this with me, put your left foot on number 2 and just lean, and notice as you do this, I'm going up on my toe on my right foot, so I'm transferring all my weight onto the left-hand side. You hear that in the background? There's another phone in there. Good, so what we're going in here, just rock and push onto that foot. There you go, good. And just rocking up. Now, as you're doing this, what I want you to do is feel the weight going onto your left leg. And as you do that, tighten the left thigh. So I'm almost going onto a straight leg, just not quite fully straight. Now, if you're really feeling strong on this, take one hand off or both hands off. Again, keep them close to the poles in case you suddenly have to grab them for that safety, but just pushing in here and go up. Last one coming up. And notice as you go up how solid and centered you are, even though the ground is off balance now, or off flat. Now take your right foot, same thing again. Rock up and come back down. And all I'm doing is I'm putting almost all my weight onto the right leg. My left toe is staying on the ground, but you'll notice if I turn to the side how my heel is coming up. So I always know where the ground is. That's my safety to go back onto the leg. And again, we talked about, if you feel comfortable, take one hand off. And if you feel really comfortable, try doing it with both hands or just holding on lightly with your fingers so they're not really controlling, but the confidence is there because the pole is there. And it's like stepping up onto a step. It's like I'm transferring my weight. I've already stepped on the step. Now I'm transferring my weight and I can feel that balance. Good, let's come back to the left-hand side. What I want you to do now is put your left foot on number 1. You're gonna step up and I want you to come up and just kick your butt or bring your heel up as if you're gonna kick your butt and come down again and again. So what we're really doing is we're beginning, and I'm gonna give you a little combination in here. Let's go 2 more. Here. And here, good. Let's go to the other side. Put your right foot on number 2. You're just gonna push up and just pull that heel up. A lot of people will call this a hamstring curl. I like to call it a butt kicker because it's like I'm trying to kick my own butt. Let's go 2 more, feel that strength. And again, if you can do it without holding on, and you'll notice, come back to the end, you'll notice as you step up, because the ground is off, you'll put more pressure on your little toe, and that will help strengthen up the ability of your little toe. I remember one lady, I wish I could remember her name, great lady, but she said she had problems turning to one side or the other. Well, if you're walking and you go to turn, and just do this with me, you can hold on here, just step slightly to the side as if you're beginning to turn. Feel how the little toe becomes the #1 factor in your strength. As you begin to turn, you'll feel how your body begins to go. So the ability to be able to step up and go here and balance, and just do this with me. Go up into here, this position, Let go of the poles. Keep your hands close and notice how the pressure is on your little toe. Come back and step back. Other side. Notice how your pressure, and keep the knee a little bit bent, is on the little toe. What you're learning to do is being strong and balanced when you have more weight on the outside of your foot. And most people fall outwards, right? So again, we want to strengthen up that area. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to strengthen up the body again. And again, Candy, once you've gone through the 3-week program, we want to strengthen the left leg. I'll give you a few more tips. You're going to step up into here, butt kick. Now from there, bring your knee up. So, and then bring it back down, and we're going to do it again. So I'm going to do it from the side. Look, this is the motion. Butt kick, now bring the knee up, and notice how the leg stays the same angle. So we're controlling separate body parts. So I'm here, I kick up, I bring the knee up, I bring the toe back down and my foot. Then we go again. Up, butt kick, lift the knee, back down. We're building here the hip flexor, the hamstring. The quad is engaged because it's having to hold the leg in place. Butt kick, knee, down. Last one, here we go. Butt kick, up, and bring it back down. Let's go to the other side. Now, the other thing that I love about this, which is, again, people don't realize, you think you're working this leg. Think about the right leg and the strength it has on the board. Here we go. Butt kick, bring the knee up, go back down. So we're isolating the strength in the leg. And this one will be great as well, Candy, for your husband, because notice we're working on the left leg and we're not just going through exercises, we're doing muscle control, and back down. And a couple more. Muscle control, last one, muscle control, and back down again. Good, shake those legs out. Now the last one that I'm going to give you, Candy, and this is for everybody, and you'll all know this one if you've been with me before. I want you to step up with your left foot on number 2, your right foot on number 3. And just rock. And hopefully, Candy, you can get on the board and actually do these exercises, because the more you feel them, the more you'll be able to help your husband. But notice in here, I'm pushing whichever foot is closest to the middle, which obviously I'm pushing with the left foot here, works more than the right. So we can strengthen up one side of the body faster by bringing your foot closer. Now bring your left foot to the number 1 and do it again. And notice how you have to push more the closer your foot is there. And don't think about just moving your body. Don't just throw your shoulders across, because you're going to lose your balance in there. We want to strengthen up the alignment and the movement of the body by using the left leg to have to work harder. We strengthen that muscle. But again, and I'll explain this, just move, take your right foot to number 2, left foot to number 3. And let me explain to you. The tremors that go on is messaging, as we talked about, being interrupted in the flow, going to the smaller muscles that create that tremor that's going on. We're talking about a cerebellar stroke in here. Now, because it's on his left-hand side, and as we said, the cerebellum is divided into 2 parts, left and right. And with the cerebellum, it's all about movement and muscle control and messaging going back and forth. And we know there's no crossover. So the left side connects to the left and the right side connects to the right. Now, as we're going through here and pushing down, what I want you to notice is that the muscle work has nothing to do with your balance. Having stronger muscles does not control your balance. It controls your skeletal structure and stamina, right? Which is not a movement-based activity. Good, bring the right foot to number 1. So if you look at a lot of the guys and ladies that have big muscles and they're really strong, most of the exercises they're doing to get stronger are stationary. It's about muscle isolation and muscle, you stress the muscle to tear the fibers, not tear the muscle, tear the fibers, so they regrow back stronger and bigger. But with balance, it's all about the brain connection to the body. It's not about the muscle. But with tremors, we've got to connect that messaging to the muscles and stop the intermittent flow of messaging that causes it to react, thinking like it's reacting on its own, but the messaging really is not going through. Good. Okay, come back, take your left foot on number 2, right foot on number 3, and I want you to find your balance. Just find that center point. And we're going to do this, we're going to hold this for a little while today. Normally we don't hold so long, but I want you to feel how the muscle contraction, as you continue to stay there, the muscle begins to get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter on the left leg. The right leg, you'll find hardly any engagement in because the left leg is closer. It's the number 2, so it's closer. About 65 to 70% of your body weight is on that left leg. And notice how as you're doing that, the messaging is fantastic because you're going to wobble. There's going to be little moments that you're going to change that balance and have to readjust your pressure points on the right and left foot. But at the same time, the muscle is always engaged. So the messaging is non-stop going in there. Such a great exercise, again, for training the brain and at the same time strengthening the muscle in a stationary position. Good, let's go to the other side. Take your right foot to number 2, left foot to number 3, and go ahead and find that balance. Now, I haven't seen any messages coming through. I don't know if people are able to send messages. I can't see any messages coming through at all, which is really frustrating. There's a button on there that I could press because I see something on there, but I'm nervous if I press it, I might end the session. So I'll go check that a little bit, but I can't see if it, can somebody just send one message just saying hello? Then I'll know if the messages are going through or not, because if not, I'm really frustrated not being able to help you at all doing this exercise. We are going to be at some point switching to a new platform, which will give much more accessibility, make it easier to get on and not have problems finding us. Good, keep that balance. There you go, keep that balance in there. Awesome. And notice the longer you hold it, the tighter the muscle gets, but the messaging is so good. Okay, good, bring it back to the center. What I want you to do now is just do some butt kickers to loosen up those thighs that are in here. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I can't see any messages, and this is really, really frustrating. Linda, good to see you here as well. Just to prove stuff, there is no messages coming through at all. If I look at this, there's the messages. I'm going to write one here. Going through. I just said hello. Can somebody write back and see whether there's a hello on there? Okay, so I got a feeling, again, this is the frustration with Facebook. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, normally I can see everybody's messages on here, and I can't see any today, which doesn't really help too much, does it? Okay, so let me go on and give you a couple of exercises to do. Because again, we're beginning. Oh, I see one message, but that was from me. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's go into a little workout to give you something for today. Let's work today on the ankles. I want to work on the ankle strength. So put your right foot on number 1. What I want to do is bend your knee and come back up. And bend your knee and come back up. And notice, because your foot is at a very slight angle, we're working more the inside of the ankle than we are any other part of the ankle. There you go, good. And I so apologize for not being able to see your messages. Last one, step back. Let's go on. That's why we're moving to a different platform where you can connect to it through Facebook, but you can also go straight to it where we can have a greater ability to interact, to engage, and to not have people left out. Again, very frustrating. You never know what you're going to get with Facebook. So very frustrating. I do greatly apologize. Okay, good. What I want you to do now is take your foot, turn it 45 degrees. So my toe is going towards the pole. My heel is facing the number 1. And what I want you to do here is just push. Let your knee go over your toe towards the pole. What we're doing here now is we're engaging more because we're going straight forward, we're engaging more the front of the ankle and just pushing it back into here. There you go, good. Let's come back, go to the other side. Remember, your toe faces the pole, toes on number 2, heel is kind of on number 1. Now, when you do this, take your knee towards the pole. There you go. And we're strengthening up the front of the ankle as you bend the knee. The front of the ankle begins to contract. The ligaments, the tendons through there are tightening up, and the muscles around it are beginning to support as well. So we strengthen up that ankle. Excellent. And bring it back down. Now, the next one we want to do is we want to work now on the little toe. So I want you to turn your foot very slightly in. So my toes on number 1, my heels on number 2, and I just want you to bend your knee slightly and back. And notice, and it's just a small movement, notice how the little toe, Debbie, nice to see you here. Thanks so much for showing up. Unfortunately, no messaging is coming through today, and so there's nothing we can do about being able to help you in the class the way it was set up. But if you want to write messages in here, if they're not coming through, I will read them later, and I will go back and I will try and do a second live class. Good. Change your foot, left foot, toe on number 1, heel back by the pole, and notice going through here how we're beginning to work the outside of the ankle a little bit more now. And I will get a second class put on because I want to help. I want to be able to engage and answer your questions. That's exactly the way it's set up. So if I could tell you how I really felt about Facebook right now, look, it's a fantastic platform to reach people, but what they're doing and constantly changing it is really hurting the ability to communicate as well. You never know day to day with the control they put in what you're going to get. Okay, so now what I want you to do is take your right foot, put it right in the middle of the board, and come and stand in the middle. Now I actually want you to push with the big toe, push with the little toe, push with the big toe. And the way to do that is just move your knee. I'm going to move my knee inside, move my knee outside, move my knee inside, move my knee outside. And what we're doing here, if you notice, when I begin to move my knee, the biggest change is in the angle of the ankle. So I'm just strengthening the inside and the outside of the ankle. Good. Bring it back down. Let's go to the left foot. Again, right in the middle. Try and find that balance so you know you're in the middle. Then push with the little toe, bring the knee. And I can really feel, I've got a little bit of a tightness in my left ankle. And so I can feel when I'm doing this that I'm actually loosening it up, but it feels at the same time like I'm strengthening it. There you go, good. Excellent, there you go. Great job. Pushing it side to side. Good. Now what I want you to do is take your right foot, put it 45 degrees, so my toes on the 1 and my heel is on the 1. And all I want you to do again is just rock it forward and backwards. So again, I'm just moving my knee slightly, and you'll notice that you'll begin to feel the ankle working on a 45 degree. Imagine if you put a line from the outside of your ankle on the outside to the inside of your ankle at the back, so the front to the back. We're kind of working that part of the ankle now. Good. Bring it back down. Again, take your left foot, put it on 1 and 1, step in here, and just rocking it back and forward. Good. Again, just focusing on the ankle movement, and we're strengthening that ankle up. Again, these are fun little exercises to do just for a minute a day, just to, again, strengthen the ankles. Good. Now we're going to turn this again. What I want you to do, face the left, take your right foot, put it in the middle, and I just want you to just rock in here. If you notice, I'm holding on with both hands. If you want to turn and hold on with one, you can. But again, we're working on the ankle. So we're just pushing forward and backwards, and the ankle is going to be the thing that is, or the moving joint that is allowing the pressure points to change and feel solid and safe. There you go. Good. Let's step off the board, go to the right, turn sideways facing the right, take your left foot, put it in here, and keep that knee bent, but very slowly pushing forward and backwards. There you go on the one leg. Awesome. Good, and feeding it. And as you're rocking forward and backwards, you should feel how you're changing the board. I put pressure on my heel, I put pressure on my toe. I keep my body in between the poles at all times. There you go. Rocking it forward and backwards. Excellent. And again, remember, today is a beginner's day with basic exercises. I don't know if you can hear the wind out there, but the wind is howling like crazy. Good. Step off to the side of the board. Now, the next thing I want you to do is let's loosen up the ankle. So put the toe in the ground and roll it around. There you go. So we just loosen it up and let's go to the left foot. Just roll it around, because anytime you strengthen something, this is a form of stretching, right? What we're doing is we're lengthening as we go around into that area. There you go, good. Shake the legs out. Thursday's workout will be a lot harder. Now, we're gonna go back on again. I want you to step your right foot onto the middle of the board. Try and find that balance. Now, carefully go up on your toe. And notice what will happen, the board will tend to rock and come back, find the balance, and then go up on your toe and see if you can hold it. Now bring it back down, find the middle. Go back up on your toe, hold it, find that balance, and back down and step back down and off. Let's take the left foot, go in the middle, go to the center. Good, and go up on your toe, see if you can hold that balance. And back down. Now you'll notice here how the calf muscle is really engaging. But as you wobble and you try and find that center, I want to focus and feel how the ankle has that ability to adjust. It changes, it changes, it changes. So we're trying to keep the body in the center. And as the pressure point changes on the foot, it's the ankle that is giving that flexibility. So we're strengthening the ankle. Last one. And come and step back down again. Good. Shake the legs out. They are good. Very good. Just come up and give yourself some butt kickers again. And what I want you to do again is roll out that ankle. Just roll it out. There you go. And change legs. Good. Okay, so another exercise. I'm going to do this one. I don't know, let's do it today. Okay, I'm going to show you this one. You may not be able to join it. I'm going to grab a chair. And I'm going to take one of the bands. And this is a great exercise for you to do later because you may not be set up to do this with me today. All we're going to do, I'm going to wrap the band around the pole 2 times. Push it down. Now I'm going to put my foot through the band into here. So you'll notice that it's in there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to push the board away a little bit. I'm going to point my toe and then pull it back. Point my toe, pull it back. Let me turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Like I said, I wrap it twice around the pole. I then put my toe through the handle, and all I'm doing is I'm pulling it back and pointing it, and pulling it back and pointing it. And what I'm doing here is I'm strengthening up my ankle to be able to, again, be stronger. It's great for rehabilitation, and it's really good as well for, again, that strengthening that is more than you'd have to do in real life of movement, so that you've got that stamina. I'm going to switch it over and go to the other side. I'll show you one more time. So you take the band, I'm going to wrap it around the pole twice. That's 1, 2. That gives me a certain tightness that I can use. I'm going to move the board back and make sure that one foot is on the board. Now let's just push this a little bit. I want to feel that pressure. If I'm here and I realize is that I could go a 3rd time around the pole. Just put this here, put one here, and now I pull my toe back, I point it forward. I pull my toe back, I point it forward, and what I'm doing here is strengthening up my ankle. So again, working through that area, and again, the more you wrap it around the pole and the further away you are from the board, but I always keep one foot on the board to make sure the board stays in place, the more resistance you're going to have. So move the chair back or push the board away, and you can rock, and by doing, you can rock the ankle. By doing that, you're going to strengthen up. Okay, so let me come back in. I'm going to come and talk to you for a little while. So again, I am so frustrated because, and I'm not going to let it ruin the class, but again, this class was set up for everybody to be able to ask questions for their sticking points. And now nobody can send messages. So it kind of takes out the ability for me to be able to help with you know what the purpose of the class was. So again, we're going to be setting up a new platform that will be more interactive, make it easier to find, easier to get on. It's going to be basically our platform so everyone can get in. Like I say, it's a howling day today, not the best of workouts at all, but I hope you learned something today that will help you to keep thinking about how you can help yourself. That you know your body better than anybody else does, and you know what hurts, you know what needs work. We can fake it as long as we want. And Bob Eubanks has said to me, he goes, Dan, I knew that I was having problems for a long time, but I never wanted to admit it. He goes, I thought I was hiding it, but everybody else knew, they just didn't want to say anything. And that's what's so tough, is that when we deny ourselves the truth of what we know, and often we do that because we don't know how to fix it. So we want to deny that it's happening. But once you accept there's something going on, then you can take action. And that's why I want to educate with the 60 up, because you all have unique and special powers. When I say special powers, I don't mean that from a Lord of the Rings type of thing, but you got something more than Lord of the Rings. You got your brain and your ability to feel, to know, and to be able to then take action. So the more I can educate you, the more you'll be able to train yourself, or I can give you little tips and hints, and you'll figure out the specificity for yourself as well. So just going back and saying hi to people that are on here. Craig, good to see you. Liz, Vicky, all of you, thanks so much for being here. Autumn, there you go. Debbie, I said hi to. Linda, Jill, Debbie, Sue, Shelley, thanks so much for being here. And I'm sorry this class didn't work out, which is again why we're going to be going to our own platform so we can actually control what happens, and if there's any glitches, we can fix them instead of waiting for Facebook to fix. So please go ahead and leave messages here. What I will do is I will come back and do another live class, an extra live class, addressing all these issues, maybe on the weekend, so that, and I'll let you know when it's going to be, but I'm going to write down everybody's comment. I will go through it. I will come up with exercises specific for you. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you have the success that you want to have. And again, this is another learning experience. So I have the you know, opportunity now, instead of taking the frustration, and believe me, I'm so frustrated because I came here specifically for this class for you, but I can either get mad or I can find a solution. And all of you are the same. When things are going on, we can either get mad or we can focus on what's happening and find the solution. And trust me, the greater the problem, the more fun it is, and a feeling of accomplishment when you find the solution, and everything has a solution. So with that being said, I'm going to jump off the Facebook today. Remember, Kathy has her class tomorrow, Fantastic Wellness Wednesday. She's been working on her calendar in the 21-day challenge, which is never too late to start and join. And then you have me back on Thursday. Thursday is going to be a full-on workout. So if you want to come in, last Thursday was great. I was sweating a lot. And again, a much harder workout. And then Friday, you have the amazing Debbie as well. So join her class there. I will do this class again. I apologize. Thank you so much for being here. And you can go back and watch this again and learn so much. And again, if you want to reach out to me personally, you can always message me on Facebook with a private message. Look forward to having a great rest of the week with you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.